All right. I have a little kitty in the corner making a lot of noise on the heater. I don't know if that's going to come in or not. All righty. Let's start. There we go. It's 9 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. We're about to go to, no, it's the other way around. Eastern Daylight Savings. We're about to go to summertime, standard time. I don't know. All right. I'm going to mute you and do this. So let's start breathing. And we're going to do 2 different types of breath. We're going to do the inhale up and then we'll do the exhale up. But first we'll start with the inhale. Inhale up, open, reach out and up, lengthen, stretch, get longer. And then exhale, reach out into space coming down. Inhaling up, deep breath, fill in, reach up, get long. Exhale, release it down, bend your knees. Inhale, lift, open, stretch, like you're climbing to the sky. And then release and open. And then you're going to take a deep breath in. And then you're going to exhale up. Exhale as your arms go up. And then inhale down. So part of it exhale up. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. And part of the reason we want to learn to breathe both directions is that actually when we are inhaling, like our diaphragm is going down. So the idea of inhaling up is, maybe it makes sense for our arms to go up or something, but really in reality, our diaphragm is descending as we inhale. And as we exhale, our diaphragm is going up. So it's nice to not get too locked into any one of those versions. Spiraling, twisting, looking around behind you. And our lung space, like we have more, there he is, squeaky deaky. We have more lung space in the back of our body than we do in the front, which you can also feel by the fact that your rib cage is higher up in the front and lower in the back, right? That is more space up here. All right, we're going to do another thing. We're just going to do these circles forward, not circles. Bend and stretch, bend and stretch, bend and stretch. Letting your arms really swing, really finding that sort of suspension at the top and fall so that there's some free flow. You don't need to use a lot of muscle work to do this. Then we're going to change it. You're going to circle and keep going up and over. So it goes down and then up and over, down, up and over. And then we're going to change it to the other direction. Just do a couple of these. And then it's going to go the other way. And if you're wondering which one it is, don't worry about it. We could go to the top and then change direction. Change direction again. The easiest way to get into it is to do the swing and then just keep going. Thoroughly confusing ourselves. Get relaxed, let it go, shake it out. Circles with your shoulders, big circles. And let's get into our elbows as well. And then kind of into the wrist. And then out through the whole arm, out through the fingers. And relax it, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Coming forward, just the shoulders. And then bending my knees, so there's a bend and stretch. And then bringing the elbows, big circles with the elbows. And then feeling it into the wrists. And then out to the fingertips. Okay, and let's come in, circles with the pelvis, big circles, think of steering this circle from your pubic bone and your tailbone. And then the other way. So as we're doing that circle, like this ball and socket joint of our femur up into our hip socket is getting some nice round movement, ball and socket joint, round movement, happy place. And that is hydrating with synovial fluid the inside of that joint. And so like we don't want to just always be stuck in sort of patterns of, this is a great pattern, a walking pattern, but like these sort of linear patterns in our body. We want to get those circles in there, particularly for the ball and socket joints. We just did it for the rotator cuff. Now we're doing it in a different way for the hip socket. So we're going to do another thing here. Stand on one leg. You can, if you need to help balance, holding onto something, go for it. But ideally, you're working your balance here, and you're going to just make circles with the other leg. So this is basically a rond de jambe, but without, like, I could do a ballet rond de jambe, but we're just doing a leg out in the air rond de jambe. Change direction. You want to do like 4 to 6 one way, 4 to 6 the other way. And if you don't look down, try to look out as you're doing this. Good. And change it, just shake it out, let it go. So you'll probably notice it's your standing leg that, like, while this is the working leg and it feels like, oh, something's going on, this is standing leg that's really doing the work. Other side, circling one way. And again, we're getting that movement in that ball and socket joint. And also in this one, the stability. And change direction. So stability in one hip, movement in the other hip. And now we're going to change it. Just shake it out, let it go, free it up. Give yourself like a good shake so your butt muscles relax, your quads relax. Release any extra tension in your body. And then we're going to do this other version where you're going to pick up your leg and you're going to circle your standing hip. So you're just, this leg is now kind of stable and the mobility is happening in the hip socket. Woo! Change direction, go the other way. Right, so that standing base is now moving. This is going to really make you work your balance more than when you're just doing this. Good. Change it to the other side. Other side, start with the circles. Standing leg is circling. I feel like I learned this exercise from Irene Dowd, who's an anatomist and kinesiologist, an amazing thinker, teacher, person. Change direction. But I haven't, like, I studied with her in my 20s, so 25 years ago. Woo! Oh, yeah. So that's it. We want to find the places where it's hard. When you have to struggle a little bit, that's when you're building the new information. Relax it, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Let's open up into a big X shape. We're going to go crossbody, elbow to knee. So mid-limb, elbow and knee connecting across our body, contralateral movement in the front space. Keep really reaching out with that other arm. So it's not kind of just flagging, but it's actively stretching away from center. Good. And then we're going to change it to the back space. So touching in the back again, cross body movement in the back space. Now it's going to be your hand touching your foot. So there's like a distal connection, not mid-limb, but distal. Breathing. Good, last one. And then we're going to do this. We're just going to, how do I want to do that? Hold on. Big spiral in your body. That's it. So we're emphasizing the spiral and the twist. Again, we're getting that mid-limb cross, but now we're really twisting in our spine. Look over your shoulder. Use your breath. Good. And now we're going to do a couple of plies. So feet turned out, not so that you're forcing your turn out, but something that you can manage so that you can keep your pelvis not tucked, not arched, but in neutral. Neutral pelvis, where the front of your hip bone, your ASIS in the back, PSIS, posterior and anterior, iliac spine are in line. So if I arch, it's dropped on one side. If I tuck, it's contracted, right? Tucking is submission in the animal kingdom. I just am not a fan of that, right? Unless you're into that, no, like, and you can see what tucking does. I have so many people teach, tuck your tail. It's like, no, don't tuck your tail, just elongate. Open it up, knees over your toes, and stretch. Down you go, and push. Working those quads, working the rotators. But not because you're working them, just because that's what they do when you do this movement. Like, you're not trying to work them harder than they're already working. 4 more. Holding the space slightly in front of you. 3, long through your spine. 2, and 1. We're going to stay down there. 1 heel up, and then the other. Heel and heel. Think of your sit bones right in between your heels. And heel, heel. Hello, calves. Heel, heel, heel. 2 more. Up, up. And another whole set. Up, up, and relax. Take it into parallel. Let's bend your knees. So you're going to stick out your butt, bend your knees, hands on your knees. You're going to arch and curl here. So cat-cow. Scoop the belly in, arch, and open. Head, tail, curling, lengthening, and arching. Think of that you're looking towards your pubic bone, and then you're trying to look at the ceiling and reach your butt to the ceiling. Down and up, down and up, and down and up. Good. And let's do a little bit of a squat. Okay, now I'm actually getting warm enough. Oh my God, I have warmed up my body. Amazing. So we're going to do a squat with our arms reaching out in front, and you're just going to take your tail kind of back and down and then come up. So arms are reaching forward, tail's reaching back. This is kind of a line, knees over toes. So your whole foot's on the floor, and then come back up. Take it down, reach, and come back up. Take it down. Bring it up. Take it down. Bring it up. And one more time. Take it down. See if you can lift up your toes and push them down. Lift up your toes, push them down. Lift up your toes, push them down. Lift up your toes, push them down, and come up. And shake it out, let it go. Shake, shake, shake. Give your muscles a hit. And let's take it down to the floor. Camera check. Okay, down to the floor. We're going to work our hamstrings a little bit more, and then we'll stretch them. So coming all the way down onto your back. Have a moment of landing. Like, feel the floor supporting you. There's nothing that you need to hold up away from the floor, right? You can just let yourself descend into the earth, dropping down, connecting into gravity. Maybe take a little sort of micro wiggle in here, moving your spine, relaxing your gut body, breathing, shaking if that feels good. Shaking is a great way to see if you're holding tension somewhere. Usually if you're holding tension, that place doesn't shake very well. So see if you can free it up a little, squeezing out any tension, any stress that you don't need to hold on to with the shake, or shaking it out. All right, let's take our hands down by our sides, lifting our pelvis up. We're going to inhale, arms up over your head, pelvis to the floor, and then exhale, press it up. Inhale, take it down, long body. Exhale, push. Inhale down. Exhale, push. Inhale down. Exhale, press. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Stay up. Circles with your hips. Letting your weight shift from side to side. So big weight shift. Feel what's going on with your feet. Are they everting or inverting? Are they planted? Change direction. Are they parallel? Just feel into your feet as you're making the circle. Like, sometimes we have weird little patterns of sort of gripping in our feet, which I think some of those were sort of developed in utero. Like, you have a pattern with one foot that really stayed curled in or something. Because I have that pattern. Surprise, surprise. Like one of my left foot always wants to kind of curl like a little claw. So I have to keep thinking about it and releasing it. Come back in, shake out your legs, let it go. Give your hamstrings a little hit. Not going for our biggest hamstring stretch yet. We're going to do a couple more things here. So taking your legs together, or fairly close together, you're going to reach your leg out, point your toes. Let's just flex through your foot and point your foot. Knees are together. Flex and point. Flex, waking up the toes, waking up the ankle, waking up the foot. One more. Circle your ankle. Keep those knees touching. So the circle's not going to be, you're not turning your leg in and out. Change direction, circle the other way. And then leaving your knees together, you're going to inhale, press up. Your toe is going to lower down and then come back down. Exhale, push, inhale down. Do I feel my hamstring? Exhale, push, inhale down. Exhale, press. Inhale down. You could be inhaling up, exhaling down, but I feel like on this, it's better to use the exhale for the exertion. 3 more. 2. Last one. Good. And relax. Let it go. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Give it a little bang. And then come down, legs together, other leg reaches up, flexing and pointing. 4, 6, going 1, 2, all the way through your long toes. 3, 4, through the metatarsals. 5, 6, outward circles, just circling the ankle, inward circles, breathing, and then up and down. So get your foot close enough to you that you can really push. Inhale up. Exhale down, or exhale up, inhale down, either way. Ooh, hamstring. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, 9, 10, and relax, come down. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Give your hamstrings a little hit. Hands on your knees, big circles. So we did those grand plies in second before when we were bending our knees, and that was great for our quads. And our hamstrings are doing some work there, but not so much. I feel like most people's hamstrings are underworked. Change direction. I'd say a pattern that's probably pretty common is overstretched and underworked. It's not that we don't want to stretch them, we do. We just want to make sure that we warmed them up really well before we're going for the stretch. Happy baby pose. Now you get to really stretch them out. Well, inner thighs, you can go up for the stretch on the hamstrings too. Breathing, wiggling around. Let your happy baby be happy and baby-like. What if you were a happy baby? How would that feel in your body? And then let's bring it in. Open your arms out, legs together, spiraling. Oh, a nice big twist. That almost always gives me a few little adjustments. The cheap chiropractor, knee and the floor twisting. And if you want to make this harder, you can straighten out your legs. So make it more challenging if you want to. It's up to you. If you're somebody who always does the hardest version possible, try sometimes doing the easiest thing and see what happens there. There's something to be gained from each version. So, I mean, I like to try everything. If somebody gives me choices, I got to do all of them. I'm not a one way. It's just one way. It's like, no, there's a million ways to do everything. Which one makes the most sense today in my body? Good, and bring it in, shake it out. Readjust yourself, recompose yourself if you need to. And then just take a couple and close your eyes for a second. Let's do a theta breath here. So now we've got like the blood flowing. Probably a little bit more breath happening. So let's do a long hissy exhale, theta breath, just to relax into the floor, maybe one or two of those. If you feel like micro moving your spine, little tiny stretches and releases in all sort of 3 dimensions, like it doesn't have to be linear, very free flow, then you can do that with the theta. And I will probably be doing that. As you're in the theta, see if you can let go of any idea about what you're supposed to look like, how your body is supposed to be, what a good body looks like, and just be in the experience of your body, allowing it to bubble out in places, condense in places, but not like imposing this very rigid militaristic version of what your body is supposed to do. Or so it's also very consumery, like very advertising. Oh, that's the perfect body. Oh, I need my butt, my legs like this. Let go of all that. Let your body be a body, alive, full of vitality and energy, right? Whenever we clamp onto it, these ridiculous expectations that are built on somebody else's aesthetic, then we need to, we're clamping into our body. We're kind of killing our own vitality. So see if you can come in and just reconnect to your vitality by allowing your body some movement, some freedom. Micro moving that whole head tail connection, maybe macro moving, just inviting in ripples, waves, undulations, free flow. One more time with that big breath. When we start letting go of sort of these inhibitory patterns that we think we're supposed to look like or be like, or I don't know, sometimes you have studied a movement form and it always tells you suck in and up or drop down or whatever the form is. Like there's no one way to be in our body. All of those things can happen at different times. So we don't want to lock into these systems that are kind of just making us more rigid. All right. Let's roll from side to side, really soft roll. So like you are pouring your body like molasses, like honey from side to side, taking your time, letting your neck and shoulders really relax. And think of like touching the ground with as much surface of your body as you're rolling as you can. Not that you're like trying to tuck and connect and contract, but you're trying to relax and pour. Pour, pouring your body from side to side. Letting your neck and jaw relax, letting your eyes soften into your head. So eyes dropping towards your brain. They can be closed. Just taking slow rolls from side to side. Inner body, readjusting in whatever way it needs to. Letting go of tension, letting go of cultural impositions on the body, and just letting the body be a body of water and fiber, right? It's earth and water and air and fire, and space. We have the electrical impulses of our nervous system, our heart, our very aliveness and vitality. And we're just bringing that into more coherence, more harmony, so that we're not working against ourselves, we're working with our body, working in harmony. Let's come in and we're going to do a little more structure. It's going to be 3 changes with your legs and then they circle out. If this feels like it's too much to think about, just keep changing your legs and skip the circle, or just keep circling. Adjust it so that it works for you. So I'm going to do three switches going 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to flex and circle out and change legs. Other side, 1, 2, 3, circle it out. 1, 2, 3, flex and open, point. 2, 3, flex and open, point. 2, 3, flex and open, point. 2, 3, flex, open, point. You can drop your head to the floor if you want. Like if you start to feel too much tension in your neck, just drop your head down, let your chest open, let your shoulders melt. One more set each side. Other one. And again, we're working with this forward, back. We're getting the hamstring stretch, but then we're getting that nice circular movement in our hip socket. And that's going to help the integrity of the joint, help the integrity of your femur head in that hip socket. All right, we're going to feet are wide. Internally rotate one leg at a time, spiraling in. Twisting, letting that massage out the part of your body that you're on top of. So like as I move over, I'm getting a massage through the back of my glutes, sort of minimus and medius, the two upper sections of my glutes, and maybe a little bit in my piriformis. Just letting that open up. And again, let your gut body open, like so we're not contracting it in. There's breath, there's life force, there's energy. And by gut body, I also mean like your reproductive organs. I know they're not really your gut body, but just think of this general tongue to tail area inside your body. Gut body, organs, happily moving around in there against each other. And don't worry, they're not going to fall out. There's a lot of like supportive packaging inside. And come around onto hands and knees. So toes are going to curl under, and you're just going to reach back, sit bones to your heels, and then forward. Let's go in this archy position, just taking your weight back. You can push down into your hands, and then forward, sit bones reaching back, and then forward, and reach it back. And forward, tops of the feet to the floor, scoop your belly in, round your spine, and the same thing, taking your tail back, and then forward. Pushing with your arms back, letting your weight come forward. Push. Doesn't have to be as much movement as what I'm doing. Work with what feels good to you. Scooping in the front of your body, opening up the back of your body. Good, and then come into neutral. Open your hands wider, chest to the floor, big circles. Pushing the floor away. Let your head and tail do whatever they want to do. And change direction the other way. So diaphragm moving, ribcage, lungs, and heart moving. And then come in, we haven't done this in a while, come onto your elbows and your knees, and you're going to put your weight into your forearms, and then open and spiral close. Open and close. Pushing into your forearms. Just massaging out the tissue in your forearms. And from there, let's take it into a forearm plank, pushing forward and backward. And come down. And we're going to just take a little push-pull. Make sure your arms are parallel to each other and your elbows are directly below your shoulders. And then you're pushing and pulling. You should feel your pecs and lats firing up. So lats are here, pecs are here, pec in the front, lat, side, back. And then come into neutral. You're going to arch, pull through, round your spine, starting with your head. Look down towards your belly button. That's going to let your pelvis lift. Knees will slightly bend, but not that you're lifting your tail. You're just scooping in. Drop your pelvis down. Arch. Let's lift our legs on this. Pull with your arms. Release that. Drop your head. Push with your arms. Scoop, curl, look down towards your pubic bone. Pelvis drops. Roll it up through your spine. Pull. Lift your legs. Drop the legs. Drop your head. Round. Curl. Look down. Pelvis drops. Work your way up through your spine. Lift and pull. Exhale. Push. Curl. Round. And again, pulling through. Arch. Open. And hollow. And push. Last one. pulling and pushing. And relax all the way down. Legs from side to side. Think of your tail wagging. So this movement, it could just be your legs are moving from side to side, but it could also be that your tail is reaching out. And then make full circles with your feet, one direction, and then the other way, letting this massage out the front of your quads. And then come in. Let's do a quad stretch here. You're going to grab on. If you can't grab this here, lay on your side. Find a way that you can do it. Maybe you could do it here, right? And if you still can't, grab your sock and pull from there. Or grab your pant leg. Find something so that you're connected. If you're good, pubic bone into the floor slightly. You're going to internally, just a little bit, externally rotate that leg. A little bit of movement in and out. Heel going toward the outer hip and then towards the midline. Then from there, you're going to kick the whole thing up. Radiate out, reach and open. And release, come down. Same thing on the other side. Heel in towards your butt. A little bit of internal, external rotation. Pubic bone and hip bones drawing into the mat. Not with a whole lot of tension, just bring the bones down to the mat. Internally, externally rotate. And then kick it up. Reach it out, open up. Breathe. And release. Hands next to your chest, coming all the way up, round your spine, take it back. Drop your head, drop your tail, wiggle from side to side. And push with your hands into the floor. Releasing your back, relaxing your face. And then come in and up. And we're going to do regular push-ups. So I discern tricep push-ups with your hands next to your chest and your elbows into your sides like this. And then more regular push-ups that are more like pec-oriented. Hands are a little bit wider and elbows are going out to the side. Those tend to be easier for me. So I'm going to do a regular push-up and then a knee drop in between. You could do a push-up with your knees on the floor and a knee lift, but try to either drop or lift your knees between each push-up. Here we go. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna do my last one on the floor. I'm gonna do a couple more just on the floor. Last one. And relax. So for our bones to be strong, for our tissues to be strong, we want to not just have like weight bearing in one dimension, right? So like if I'm doing this, it's a pushing. The energy is coming into my body. But if I have a weight, there can also be a pulling, right? So for the bones, I'm just thinking of pole dancing. And like pole dancing is a lot of pulling, but not a lot of pushing. Well, that's not true. If you're really good, there's a lot of pushing also. But at first it feels like, I'm just pulling. But we want to have this balance in our bone density, in our muscles, that it can both push and pull. Like we want to have both kinds of strength. So like hanging, right? There's a pull. I'm hanging from something. This could really be helpful for my rotator cuff. I can like, if I stay connected, don't get too like here. But then push-ups are pushing, right? There's all these different ways. So when we think about strength and we think about mobility and we think about bone density, we want to think about this really three-dimensional way of working with our body, that we're changing relationships to gravity. We do things where we pull, we do things where we push, like pushing from the back, like those dips, tricep dips, great thing to do. We're not going to do them, but they're great because I don't have a chair here. Let's go. Bent knees, feet together. One hand to the ceiling, up and down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take a break for a second. We're going to come back up. We're going to do the arch and curl. Pressing up, reaching back. 1, 2, head, tail reaching, arm, leg reaching. 3, 4, 5, 6. We're just going to do 8, 7, 8. And I really feel it on my under butt, the side I am on. Switch it to the other side. We're going to stretch it all out after we do this side. So coming onto this side, both knees are bent up and down. Going 1 for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open up. Sorry, we have a break. We have a little break in the middle. This is the break. Breathe. Think an independent thought. And then here we go. Arching and curling. 1 for 8. 2, big movement. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And come down. Both legs out in front. You're going to bend your knees and just roll across one hip and then across the other. Right? We can really massage our own bodies on the floor by developing this relationship with gravity where I can like get in there, let the bones and the floor pancake the tissue and massage it out. Right? So we're working in there. If I stay on this, I can kind of move around and get more pliancy in my hip, in my glute. Same thing on the other side. Right? And it's really worth working for that stuff because like people break their hips when they get older. Why? Because they didn't do enough differentiated movement, because they didn't eat enough, because their bone density was weak. And that's another thing. If you're working out more, you probably need more protein. It doesn't mean you need to eat meat. You can do whey protein. There's vegetarian forms of protein. But you want to make sure that when you're working out, you're getting the protein to put back into your muscles. All right, let's stand up again. So we're going to do a standing quad stretch. You're going to come, hands on the wall, or not. If you don't need the wall, no hand on the wall. Grab on, draw your heel in. Let's take the other arm up if you don't have the wall. If you're holding the wall, no need to take the other arm up. And if you can, just push that leg back. Not going terrifically far forward, but just kicking into the back space with that foot. And bring it in. Switch, other side. Start with the quad stretch. Hold on to something if you need it. Breathe. Opening up this front line of tissue. And then kick it up. Pushing into the back space with your foot into your arm. Good, and release. Shake it out, let it go. I feel like we just need to do a little bit more balance stuff. So we can balance like one leg, we're using our visual system, we close our eyes, we can maybe find our balance. Oh, it's having a hard time with it today. Still keeping my eyes closed, but as soon as I've gone into that I'm falling, my vestibular system comes online, right? Vestibular is going to work more with movement than just straight visual. Like if I'm holding it totally still, then I close my eyes. I'm letting it adjust. So much easier on the other side. Also depends, like if my knee is slightly bent, if I'm totally straight, hands are in front of me. Go back and forth a few times. One side and then the other. Eyes open if you need them. Right? Put your foot down. Don't fall if you need it. Hold the wall if you need to. But just check it out. And then back and forth a few times. Even yourself out. Good, and relax. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. So we'll do one with our eyes open. Coming onto one leg, now you're going to really move the limbs. If you need to do this holding a wall, that still could be great for you. So don't feel like, oh no, I can't balance without the wall. If you need the wall, use the wall. No shame. But if you can do it without the wall, we want to keep shifting the relationships of all of our limbs so that we have to balance with this movement going on. Whenever you're ready, switch it to the other side. So we don't want to super exhaust the little intrinsic muscles that are coming into our in our pelvis, into our hip bone, right? We want to, and in our pelvic floor, we don't want to totally wear those things out. This is one reason why I feel like a lot of bar classes really overdo it. Like when I was dancing ballet every day and I took a bar class, I was like, wow, this is overworking my hips and my glutes in a way that does not feel good. So listen to your body. If it feels bad, it might not be the best thing. I had a woman take my class, had a big gym in New York City, and say, I feel so good every time I take your class. I just don't know if it's doing anything for me. Like, ding, ding, ding. If it feels good, it is good. If it feels bad, it doesn't mean that it's bad. It might mean that you have a different relationship to turning in and out. It might mean that you have a different relationship with sensation. But sometimes, like, she's like, oh, I take this one class, it feels so horrible. I know it's great. And like, maybe it's not, right? Maybe it's not. Intense feeling doesn't mean something's good. So we want to come down to being able to feel subtlety so that we can judge within our own body, is it or isn't it good? Like, is this working for me or isn't this working for me? All right, taking it down to the floor. And we're going to be in a cross-legged position. If that's comfortable. If that's not comfortable, change the position to anything. We'll be side stretching. You can leave your legs out in front or a small straddle, taking it from side to side. Oh, we got some hearts. Thank you. And then circling the whole way around. Take it to the side, forward, around to the other side, and open. So I tried to do like a set up the live stream that it's an upcoming thing, but I don't have the software to actually live stream from my live stream. So just FYI, TV Land, I will be teaching again at 9:30 on Saturday, 9:30 New York time, AM. But I don't think I'll be able to set it up as something upcoming, just so you know. So you gotta kind of wait and then go, oh, it's there. Spiral, and probably I'm gonna be able to start, because now I have a new model of doing this, pretty much right on time at 9:30. Spiraling one way, spiraling the other. Take it down. If you want to take your legs so that they're not underneath, but it's kind of more flat and open, taking it down from there. It's a different stretch. Feel free to do that. Free up the spine, head tail movement. Micro stretches, micro releases, supporting the big macro stuff. So we have this underlying shape flow support, underlying internal shaping that is supporting us being humans. And then unscramble. Just give your legs a bang. Let the tissue realign itself and change it so that your non-dominant leg is in front, which everyone feels like it shouldn't be there. Sides, we're just gonna circle the whole way around. Circling all the way around. Opening up, changing direction. My fingers are reaching away from my tail as I make that big circle, reaching out into my kinesphere, my realm of potential movement. Can't get there from here. Just kidding. You can get there from here. It's all those places that you can get to. Good. And then come up, spiral one way. Look around behind you. Go the other way. You can go a couple of times. And then If you want to, take one foot more in front of, so it's not stacked anymore, and take it down. Breathe. Free up the spine. Breathing freedom and mobility into your spine. Letting your head, neck, and shoulders relax. And then roll it up and bring it up. Legs out. Give them a bang. Let's just give the calves a bang. So I'm hitting the side so that the muscle kind of flops to the other side, right? So that I get a little bit of movement. Then I'm going to go up and down the back. And then I'm going to go just to the front and side. So for me, I have a really developed tibialis anterior, this muscle right here. And we don't want it to get like totally glued. So then you're going to take your fingers and just gently go in and a little pull, pulling that muscle off to the side so that it's not adhering really strongly to the tibialis. It's not going to fall off. You're not going to pull it away, but sometimes people get really gummed up there. Then they wonder why they have shin splints and stuff like that. So just giving it some space. And then take your feet underneath you, butt to the ceiling, let your head hang down. You can open your feet wider, shift from side to side, free up your spine. Big hamstring stretch if that feels good, or not if it doesn't. And come in, roll it all the way up through your spine. We're going to do a couple of breaths here just to finish it off. So you're going to inhale, open, open, open. Exhale down the outside. You're going to come together, bringing your hands and diving up through the ceiling, through the stratosphere, through the heavens, bringing your hands together, diving up, splashing out into the world. And diving up, splashing out, like you're going up in prayer, right? And then you're going to change direction. So coming down, you can either come down in prayer or you could just dive down. I am diving down. Go as deep as feels good into the planet, grounding my energy, coming up, bringing my hands together, coming down. And my knees are bent the whole time. I'm not going for a huge, I could do this with straight legs. Feels better with bent knees. Soften the tissue, diving down. Or if it hurts to go down, just come down in prayer, right? This is good too. We're still centering ourselves, grounding our energy, bringing ourselves back to ourselves. Last one. And then just coming up and down the outside. Inhale, open and lift, reach out, and then exhale, release, drop it down. So all you people in TV land, thanks for sticking around for however long you did. And like, subscribe, share. It's finally growing. One of these days I'll be able to have like a pro channel, but not yet. We're getting there.